Hey guys, welcome back to our channel Cybersecurity Daily, daily capsule for cybersecurity news and updates. Alright, so today we are going to discuss about some tips which have been shared by the US government against coronavirus cyber scams. Let's take a look about these news and tips in detail. So the Department of Homeland Security Cybersecurity Agency today shared tips on how to defend against scammers who use coronavirus health crisis as bait to push their scams over the internet. Okay, so the Homeland Security CISA has shared some tips. So the CISA, known as the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, has warned individuals across the United States to remain vigilant for cyber scams related to the coronavirus disease 2019 and to take a number of precautions to make sure that they won't be victims of cyber criminals. So, what are the defense measures against coronavirus cyber scams? Cyber actors may send emails with malicious attachments or links to fraudulent websites to trick victims into revealing sensitive information or donating to fraudulent charities or causes, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency said. So, they've also mentioned to exercise caution in handling any email with a COVID 19 related subject line, attachment or hyperlink, and to be wary of social media pleas, texts, or calls related to COVID 2019. So here are the tips that they have mentioned. Individuals are encouraged by the Cybersecurity Agency to avoid clicking on links in unsolicited emails and be wary of email attachments. They have asked us to see the using caution with email attachments and avoiding social engineering phishing scams for more information. So let's take a look at this here. So let's see what we've got here. So the security tips which they have mentioned for using caution with email attachments. I'll provide more details about this in the description box. You guys can also take a look at it as well. So they have mentioned here that why email attachments can be dangerous. So these are some of the tips that they have mentioned that was released on November 14, 2019. So you can take a look at it about how you can maintain caution with email attachments. So they've specified here to be wary of unsolicited attachments even from people you know. Keep software up to date, trust your instincts, save and scan any attachments before opening them, turn off the option to automatically download attachments, consider creating separate accounts on your computer, apply additional security practices. So I will post more details about the security tips for being cautioned with email attachments. And also they have mentioned some details about how to avoiding social engineering and phishing scams. So the CISA has given security tips of how to avoid social engineering and phishing attacks. So if you take a look at here, they have in detail mentioned what is a social engineering attack and what is a phishing attack, and also what is a smishing attack and what are the common indicators of a phishing attempt. So we have a lot of detailed information here on how to avoid a phishing attack and how do you also avoid being a victim of a phishing attack for these malware and viruses. So also interestingly they have also mentioned here what do you do if you think you are a victim. So they also mentioned a few points here wherein you can take if you think you have become a victim of the social engineering or phishing attacks. So let's see what more they have given here in the tips. Use trusted sources such as legitimate government websites for up-to-date fact-based information about COVID-19. Do not reveal personal information or financial information in email and do not respond to email solicitations for this information. verify charities' authenticity before making donations. Review the Federal Trade Commission's page on charity scams for more information. So let's check about their charity scams page for more information. So here they have given a few guidelines on what you need to check before giving charity. So you can take a look at these as well, and they're given good in details about how to donate to a charity. So they clearly mentioned here, if you want to give charity, search online for the cause you care about before you even decide to give for charity. Check out the charity's website. Does it give information about the programs you want to support, or how it uses donations? How much of your donation will go directly to support the programs you care about? If you can't find detailed information about the charity's mission and programs, be suspicious. So a lot of good information here given here in this article by the federal government. Before you can actually trust a charity and provide donations. This can help you stay cyber safe. I'll post this link and more details about this in the website in the description box, so you guys can take a look. Moving on, they also finally mentioned us to review the CISA insights on risk management for COVID 2019. So this is some really important news here about how they've asked us to go about the coronavirus thing for cyber scams. So they've clearly mentioned here that there is a document, it's a PDF document that they've shared. It's risk management for novel coronavirus. So let's see what they have here in this document. This was just released on March 6, 2020. So the threat and how to think about it. This product is for executives to help them think about physical supply chain and cybersecurity issues that may arise from the spread of novel coronavirus. According to the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, COVID-19 has been detected in locations around the world, including multiple areas throughout the US. This is a rapidly evolving situation, and for more information, you can visit the COVID-19 situation summary. Link has been given in this document. Let's see what else we've got here. So this guide contains actions for infrastructure protection, actions for your supply chain, cybersecurity for organizations, cybersecurity actions for your workforce and consumers. So what is the CISA's role as a nation's risk advisor? So the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency is working closely with partners to prepare for possible impacts of a COVID-19 outbreak in the United States. COVID-19 containment and mitigation strategies will rely heavily on healthcare professionals and first responders detecting and notifying government officials of occurrences. So CISA will use its relationships with integrancy and industry partners to facilitate greater communication, coordination, prioritization and information sharing between the private sector and the government. As the situation changes, the virus may affect essential operations for business and federal, state, local, tribal and territorial government entities. So if you want to stay current with the CISA's efforts regarding the COVID-19, you can visit their website, that is cisa.government. So that's more of the details that you've given here in this guide. So they've also given here actions for infrastructure protections. So planning and preparedness are crucial to reduce the impact of COVID-19 on critical infrastructure community, and CISA recommends organizations take the following precautions to prepare for possible impacts of COVID-19. Designate a response coordinator, assign team members with specific responsibilities. Implement a formal worker and workplace protection strategy. Train workers on personal worksite protection strategies. Establish and test flexible worksite and work hour policies. Identify essential functions, goods and services for your organization required to sustain its operations and missions. So that's some actions given by the CISA for infrastructure protection. And similarly, they have given some actions for supply chain as well in this document. And here is the most important one. They have given some important points for cybersecurity for organizations. So as organizations explore various alternate workplace options in response to COVID-19, CISA recommends examining the security of the information technology systems by taking the following steps. Secure systems that enable remote access, ensure VPN and other remote access systems are fully patched, enhance system monitoring to receive early detection alerts on abnormal activity, implement multi-factor authentication, ensure all machines have been properly configured firewalls as well as anti-malware intrusion prevention software installed, test remote access solutions capacity or increase capacity, ensure continuity of operations or business continuity plans are up to date, increase awareness of information technology support mechanisms for employees who work remotely, update incident response plans to consider workforce changes in a distributed environment. So they also mentioned listed here cybersecurity actions for your workforce and consumers. So they have given some important points on how to avoid clicking on links in unsolicited emails and be wary of email attachments. Do not reveal personal or financial information in emails. Review their tips on social engineering phishing scams. So use trusted sources such as legitimate or government website for up-to-date fact-based information. So overall, they have given a good document here for risk management for coronavirus to avoid any cyber scams. So I'll post more details about this in the description box. You guys can take a look at it. So just checking a little bit furthermore into this coronavirus themed phishing scams and malware. So this warning comes after previous ones issued last month by the World Health Organization and the US Federal Trade Commission about ongoing coronavirus themed phishing attacks and scam campaigns. So COVID-19 is highly popular phishing bait for targeting interests in the United States and the United Kingdom, as per researchers. So a report from Impova also highlights how high levels of concern around the coronavirus are currently being used to increase the online popularity of spam campaigns designed to spread fake news and drive unsuspected users to dubious online drugstores. So coronavirus themed malware was also discovered by security researchers since January, with security research collective Malware Hunter team having previously shared malware samples with coronavirus references, including in a remote access Trojan, a steal a keylogger, and a wiper. So Microsoft, Google, etc. have also announced this week that they are offering free licenses for meeting, collaboration, remote work tools that remote workers can join virtual meetings and chat with their colleagues while working remotely from their homes. Alright, so overall it's a good list and tips shared by the US government to safeguard yourself against coronavirus cyber scams. I'll post more details about this in the description box so that you guys can have a look and follow these tips and stay cyber safe. Okay, so that's it we have for today, guys. Please go through the tips shared by the US governments, which I feel are very helpful to stay cyber safe. And please stay connected and subscribe to our channel. And you guys have a nice day ahead. Goodbye.